Reality Television Has Value by Michael Hirschorn. Michael Hirschorn is Executive Vice President of Original Programming and Production for VH1 and has produced many of that cable channel's reality programs. In the following viewpoint, Hirschorn defends reality television as a creative force that offers an alternative to stale plotted dramas and comedies. He contends that in addition to providing lively entertainment, reality television presents real characters who engage with social issues such as race, gender, and politics. Hirschorn believes the boom in reality programming fits well alongside the socially engaging film documentaries of the past decade, which have undertaken novel approaches to grapple with pressing issues and emotional truths. This past January 2007, I had the pleasure of serving as official spear catcher for a CBS evening news report on the increasing levels of humiliation on American Idol and other reality TV shows, including some on my channel, VH1. The segment featured snippets of our shows, I Love New York, a dating competition with an urban vibe, and Celebrity Fit Club, which tracks the efforts of overweight singers and actors to get back in shape and, by extension, reignite their careers. VH1, among other things, showcases faded celebrities who are fat, said the CBS correspondent Richard Schlesinger. In between shots of me faking work at my computer and fake chatting with the amiable Schlesinger while fake strolling down our corporate-looking hallway, I took my best shot at defending the alleged horrors of Al and Celebrity Fit Club. But it was clear that CBS News was set on bemoaning what it saw as yet another outrage against the culture. The central complaint, per CBS News anchor Katie Couric's intro to the report, was that more people had watched American Idol the previous week than watched the State of the Union address on all the broadcast networks combined. When the segment ended, Couric signed off with an extravagant eye roll. "We're doing our part here at CBS News," she seemed to be saying. "But the barbarians are massing at the gates, people." A line had been drawn in the sand, as if the news was now akin to an evening at the Met, the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. A cost-effective, lively genre. Is there an easier position to take in polite society than to patronize reality TV? Even television programmers see the genre as a kind of visual hamburger helper, cheap filler that saves them money they can use elsewhere for more worthy programming. Reality shows cost anywhere from a quarter to half as much to produce as scripted shows. The money saved on Extreme Makeover Home Edition, the logic goes, allows ABC to pay for additional gruesome medical emergencies and exploding fairies on Grey's Anatomy. NBC's crappy Fear Factor pays for the classy heroes. As befits a form driven largely by speed and cost considerations, reality TV is not often formally daring. 15 years after MTV's The Real World set the template for contemporary reality TV by placing 7 strangers in a downtown Manhattan loft, reality television has developed its own visual shorthand. Short doses of documentary footage interspersed with testimonials, often called OTFs for on-the-fly interviews, in which the participants describe ex post facto what they were thinking during the action you are watching. The current boom may be a product of the changing economics of the television business, but reality TV is also the liveliest genre on the set right now. It has engaged hot-button cultural issues, class, sex, race, that respectable television, including the August CBS Evening News, rarely touches. And it has addressed a visceral need for a different kind of television at a time when the web has made more traditionally produced video seem as stagey as 17th century French playwright Molière. Reality TV may be an awkward mixture of documentary with its connotations of thousands of hours of footage, patiently gathered, redacted by monk-like figures into the purest expression of truth, possible in 90 to 120 minutes, and scripted with its auteurs and Emmys and noble overtones of craft. But this kludge also happens to have allowed reality shows to skim the best elements of scripted TV and documentaries while eschewing the problems of each. Reality shows steal the story structure and pacing of scripted television, but leave behind the canned plots and characters. They have the visceral impact of documentary reportage without the self-importance and general lugubriousness where documentaries must construct their narratives from found matter. Reality TV can place real people in artificial surroundings designed for maximum emotional impact. A vibrant alternative to tired dramas. Scripted television is supposedly showing new ambition these days, particularly in the hour-long drama form. Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip was going to bring the chatty intelligence of The West Wing back to prime time. Lost was going to challenge network audiences like never before, with complex plots, dozens of recurring characters, and movie-level production values. Shows are bigger now. On 24 this season, a nuclear bomb exploded, but network primetime television remains dominated by variants on the police procedural Law and Order CSI Criminal Minds, in which a stock group of characters, ethnically, sexually, and generationally diverse, grapples with endless versions of the same dilemma. The episodes have all the ritual predictability of Japanese no theater. Crimes are solved, lessons are learned, order is restored. Reality shows have leaped into this imaginative void. Discover's Deadliest Catch, which began its third season in April 2007, is an oddly transfixing series about crab fishermen in the Bering Sea. As a straightforward documentary, Catch would have been worthy fodder, but the producers have made it riveting by formatting the whole season as a sporting event, with crab tallies for each of the half-dozen or so boats, and a race against the clock urgency that, for all its contrivance, gives structure and meaning to the fishermen's efforts. Narrative vibrancy is not the only thing that electrifies these shows. Reality TV presents some of the most vital political debate in America, particularly about class and race. Fox's Nanny 911 and ABC's Super Nanny each offer object lessons on the hazards of parenting in an age of instant gratification and endless digital diversion. ABC's Extreme Makeover, Home Edition, features intensely emotional tales of people who have fallen through the cracks of George W. Bush-era America, often blue-collar families ravaged by disease, healthcare costs, insurance loopholes, layoffs, and so forth. My channel's The White Rapper Show turned into a running debate among the aspiring white MCs over cultural authenticity, whether it is more properly bestowed by class or race. Getting at real issues. Class realities are plumbed to remarkable effect on the Real Housewives of Orange County, a docu-soap that completed its second season on Bravo this spring. The show was inspired by a trio of suburban dramas, The OC, Desperate Housewives, and the 1999 movie American Beauty. Lacking the visual panache or the budgets of its scripted forebears, Real Housewives nonetheless goes deeper, charting the spiritual decay of life in gated communities, where financial anxieties, fraying families, and fear of aging leave inhabitants grasping for meaning and happiness as they steer their escalades across Southern California's perfectly buffed, featureless landscape. Crash, the 2006 Oscar winner, trafficked in similar white California dread, but with all the nuance of a 2x4 to the face. In Real Housewives, businessman Lou Knickerbocker stages a photo shoot to promote his new, highly oxygenated water, variously called Aqua Air, an OC energy drink. We have patented technology that produces water from air. The models are attractive-ish teen and 20-something girls, Lou's daughter Lindsay, by ex-wife Tammy, a few other daughters of OC housewives, and a newcomer whom Lou apparently found waitressing at a local restaurant. Lou and Tammy made piles of money. It's not clear how, but their finances seem to have fractured along with their marriage. The photo shoot, therefore, is throwing off more than the normal amount of flop sweat. Lou apparently has personally selected the girls, which means he has declined to showcase his other daughter, Megan, because of her tattoos and lack of physical fitness. Lou believes the Aqua Air Angels should embody the Aqua Air ideal, which is why they can't drink or smoke and must have grade point averages higher than 3.5. This is a photo shoot, he barks after a fight breaks out between one of the girls and the waitress, not a gangbang, for Christ's sake. The detail is what puts the scene over. Lou's lip-smacking focus on the girls' bland acquiescence. That's it, baby. Smile, Lou urges his daughter. Show those teeth, says Tammy. A similar scenario on Desperate Housewives could never have been quite this preposterous, quite this blandly immoral. The characters would have been scripted with softening, redeeming qualities, or been rendered comically evil. Lou would have gotten his comeuppance, like Wallace Shawn's money siphoning literary agent in that series. Here, the apparent willingness of the young women, and at least some of the parents, to indulge Lou's bottom of the barrel scheming outlines in a few short brushstrokes a community shared value system. Rendering emotional truths. Value systems are smashed into each other like atoms in an accelerator on ABC's Wife Swap, where the producer finds the most extreme pairings possible: lesbian mommies with bigots, godless cosmopolites with Bible thumpers. On one February 2007 show, a Pentecostal family, the Hoovers, was paired with the family of a former pastor, Tony Meeks, who has turned from God to follow his rock and roll dreams. Mom Tish rocks out as well. I feel, by being there, Kristen Hoover said, I was able to remind Tony that God still loves him and is not finished with him. The episode took seriously the Hoovers' commitment to homeschooling and their rejection of contemporary culture, a rejection not taken to the extreme of declining an invitation to appear on reality TV. Compare this with the tokenism of born-again Christian Harriet Hayes on NBC's dramedy Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip. Harriet's but a cipher, a rhetorical backboard against which ex-boyfriend Matt Albee can thwack his heathen wisecracks. The competitions and elimination shows are latter-day Milgram experiments, scientific experiments in which participants are instructed to perform acts that conflict with their values, that place real people in artificial situations to see what happens. The Apprentice is Darwinism set loose inside an entrepreneurial habit trail, post 9/11. Survivor became less a fantasy and more a metaphor for an imagined post-apocalyptic future. What happens on these shows might be a technicolor version of how we behave in real life, but so is most fiction. Creative endeavors, written, scripted, or produced, should be measured not by how literally they replicate actual life, but by how effectively they render emotional truths. The best moments found on reality TV are unscriptable or beyond the grasp of most scriptwriters. It's no coincidence that 2006's best scripted dramas, The Wire, HBO's multi-season epic of inner-city Baltimore, and Children of Men, Alfonso Cuarón's futuristic thriller, were studies in meticulously crafted realness, deploying naturalistic dialogue, decentered and chaotic action, stutter-step pacing, and a reporter's eye for the telling detail. The Wire's season and Cuarón's movie both ended on semi-resolved, novelistic notes, scorning the tendency in current television and cinema toward easy narrative closure. Watching them only threw into higher relief the inability of so much other scripted product to get beyond stock characterizations and pat narrative. All the snobism in the doc community, reality TV has actually contributed to the recent boom in documentary filmmaking. The most successful docs of recent vintage have broken through in part by drawing heavily from reality television bags of tricks, dropping the form's mechanical insistence on pure observation. In Fahrenheit 9/11, Michael Moore brings an army recruiter with him to confront legislatures and urge them to enlist their children in the Iraq War effort. In Bowling for Columbine, Moore takes children who were shot at Columbine to a Kmart where they ask for a refund on the bullets that are still lodged in their bodies. Of course, Moore's never been a doc purist. TV Nation, his short-lived 1994 television series, prefigured a long line of gonzo reality, from Joe Millionaire to Punk'd. Having the Serbian ambassador sing along to the Barney theme song, I Love You, You Love Me, while statistics about the number of Bosnians killed during the breakup of Yugoslavia appeared on the screen, was not only reality, it was Borat. And speaking of talking animals, March of the Penguins turned stunning footage of mating and migrating penguins into an utterly contrived Antarctic version of Love Story. The resistance to reality TV ultimately comes down to snobbery, usually of the generational variety. People under 30, in my experience, tend to embrace this programming. They're happy to be entertained, never mind the purity of conception. And as unapologetic producer of reality shows, I'm obviously biased. but I also know that any genre that provokes such howls of protest is doing something interesting. Try the crab.